like a woman, he's a woman.
Except
It's literally. That sounds
if
like.
it's not clear.
Yeah, who's gonna check?
When can I go ask for ID?
That's the cat for the job.
Somebody has to go check it out. Cause I got some stuff who's going.
We are
to
live,
enforce,
Commissioner?
he said.
Live.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you for it.
So.
Okay.
Okay, good morning. Welcome to the March 2nd meeting of the Riley County Commissioners. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
A pledge of allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. There's a full room of people here. Kidding. Do we have any public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to commission comments. Commissioner Ford?
Yeah. I didn't really have a lot going on towards the end of the week, and over the weekend it was rather quiet, but Friday afternoon I did get out and donate some blood to American Red Cross at our latest county blood drive over at the senior center, because that's where we're having those at till our 4 chambers finally get fixed. Pretty packed house mid-afternoon. There was a lot of people there. Still got in and out in a pretty good fashion. Still struggling these days to keep up with the demand. So these type of donations are indeed critical. And then the rest of the weekend I spent catching up on things at home, watched a little college basketball, paid attention to a little bit of college baseball. Wasn't impressed. I don't get it. Anyway, just getting prepared for the rest of the week, and it's going to be a busy one. So I'm just trying to get out ahead of everything. So that's all I got.
Okay, Commissioner McKinley.
Well, Thursday afternoon, met with a group of department heads to go over reorganization plans, and they had several questions. I think I was able to clear stuff up. Friday, I had a call with Jacob, just going over a bunch of stuff going on here. And I also had an email exchange with Ned Seaton, correcting the misinformation in his Wednesday editorial.
What was that again?
His Wednesday editorial.
What was
What was
it?
it about?
About what these changes mean, because he had
Yeah.
it pretty much wrong all the way through.
I still haven't read that yet. So, okay.
Good heavens. Do they ever do, does he ever do retraction?
He did ask if I wanted to have it printed as a letter to the editor, and I said, no, it's just,
That the charge for,
huh?
that the charge for.
I don't, oh, well, that'd be political. I mean, I'm not campaigning for anything, but
Much per word.
I went, nah,
Hmm.
just trying to help.
Okay, well, I don't have a lot either. Thursday morning, I met with a member of the law board to discuss a possible agenda item for this month's meeting. It's concerning a discussion of the 287G task force model to safer communities. See me later if you want to know what that means. I've got a whole packet on it. Friday and Saturday were pretty quiet. I was catching up on some personal business and chores. And Saturday I did some work in the yard. It was a beautiful day and enjoyed the warm weather. And then later I reviewed the agenda and documents for today's meeting. Sunday I played with the Bell Choir at church and then had lunch at the Parkside Cafe with some friends. Restaurant's last day is March 15th. So it was really packed, so. Later went over today's meeting again and scheduled some appointments for this week. Check schedule and got everything up to date. So that's it for me.
March 15th.
Yeah.
Okay. No business, commissioners. All we have is minutes. Are there any changes to the minute?
Changes.
I'd move to approve the minutes from the February 26th meeting as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the February 26th meeting as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
You have the 10 agendas of the commissioners.
are we doing the county officials luncheon on the night?
Yeah, that's the only.
Okay.
It's-
Far along.
Any items for next week's press conference?
No.
Not until Mr. Kingston at 9 o'clock. Have a break. And the shortest business part of the meeting we've had forever, most of it.
That's what was under.
Most of the time, we going long.
Yeah, lately we've been,
We've had some, we only
Running.
haven't had enough time.
Yeah, now the county's official luncheon on Monday, March 9th. Do we have any items for that?
Yeah, we're gonna have budget. I know budget's gonna be a big one. I was gonna be a standing kind of topic for like a couple months. And then, we had two others. What was it? Yeah, evaluations from Anna and IT. Yeah,
Okay,
thanks.
I was out Saturday just before noon. The people, I mean, it was like spring break. Everybody was out. I mean, it was people, I mean, people were, it's nice out. Let's get out. I went
next day.
out by Aggieville. I mean, there were people parked for walking in there. You know, I looked up, is there an event there today? Went down past City Park. It was all parking lots were full of kids. It was really neat.
Right.
Everybody's seen it.
Too.
Wait till this Saturday.
Wildcat Creek.
St.
Park
Patty's
is-
Day.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Wildcat Creek was,
Rich,
was
we were talking earlier and I was saying, like, I just stayed home.
Uh-huh.
I did get out and I drove around and it was like, that's enough for me.
Everyone was out.
Oh,
Everyone was out. That was Gary. Good.
Then went to the baseball game Saturday afternoon.
Oh, that was
Was that-
good.
It was nice.
Great venue.
It is really a neat place.
I underutilize that for sure. I need
It's,
to take advantage.
there's a pretty good sized crowd there, but
Can't figure out this
Except-
team though.
see, they split Friday and then they won Saturday. They
They-
had, what was it, second inning? They had 5 runs in. And then they got back and they had, I think, with only 1 out, they still had the bases loaded, but then somebody hit into a double play or something like that. But then, and then a couple innings later, they got the bases loaded and
Yeah,
didn't get
beat
somebody.
Friday 1-1 against a team I wouldn't think should be competition for how they looked so early in the year.
Well, but Columbia is that's why I did too, looking at, they are a good team.
Are they?
Actually. Yeah, they didn't do so well the first weekend, but they are a good team, but our pitch, well, I guess the pitching on Friday was kind of up and down, but that starting guy on Saturday, he was just mowing them down.
I think Friday, didn't they start the kid that isn't a real fast pitcher?
I don't know.
Yeah, they have the one, he only throws about mid-80s, but they say he's got great control.
And then went to the basketball game Saturday night.
oh goodness.
Did this, I mean, this was senior night. I mean, there wasn't a lot of fans, the student section was almost empty. Yeah, I mean, there was like 5 or 6 rows. Yeah, they were
fast.
18 turnovers? My goodness.
in the
They-
women's game, and I didn't go because my back, I did something to my back. I
Sitting.
wasn't gonna go sit in those chairs Sunday afternoon, but watched it. And they, again, they played it close, but Iowa State's just a good team.
They are.
That big gal, that Crooks, and it was so frustrating watching her. They just lob it in, and
41 points?
but I got to thinking, I was there when Aoki scored 62 on who was ranked. Oklahoma was ranked at the time, and it was that kind of night. They could just lob it into her, and she put it in. I mean, and that's what. Except she also clears out the lane. She uses Crooks gonna just push people out of her way sometimes and get away with
How big
it.
is she?
Hmm?
How big is she?
I don't know, 6'3" or 4, but have you ever seen? Oh, she's bowling ball.
Oh,
Yeah.
At that height?
She takes up space in there. But she can also just turn around and run over something.
Yeah.
It's for a while, they couldn't get anybody behind her. They did Ferninger helped a little bit, but if they got it lobbed it up higher than we could. And that Spicer got in there with her, and Spicer's pretty scrappy too.
Oh, really?
It was yeah, they had some battles.
Yeah, that, like John said, if they can keep this team together and if they could get a
One
really
big,
good big,
like I say, it's most, and there's 10 freshmen and sophomores on the
they
team,
need to keep this.
one senior.
Need to keep this core group together. That'd be fun. I just think in today's day and age, it's so hard to do that though.
That Garcia at the start of the year, I thought, she was starting, but man, she's really,
Game's slowing down for her, like you
Yeah.
say, they're young, you know.
yes,
it's a
freshman,
totally
and
different stuff.
but she's really turning it on.
Good. Riley County girls got a win. They get to keep going on. They pulled an upset off
Oh, did they?
the number 13 team.
Oh, well.
The Riley County girls could keep going. Another sub-state round. Not sure when they play.
But K-State women play Wednesday, Big 12 tournament.
When do the men play again?
It's Wednesday night. They play West Virginia.
What are they saying? Who's our next guy?
Nobody knows. There's all kinds of names floating around. Some of them, I think, would not be good, but because some people said, well, they've been down the last few years, but they've been good before that. The last few years, to me, the last 3 years is what you got to look at when NIL
Do they
and transfer
know
came in.
this environment?
Do they know how to do that? And some of them do, and some of them don't. Because so you talk about, oh, this guy's he's been down the last 2 years. Before that, he's been such a good well, because he doesn't know how to make it work.
Gonna be old school and fight it. You're just gonna.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. You've got to have somebody.
Yeah.
Interesting one. There's one. I can't remember that's it's hired this year as his first year at Creighton, but they designate him as head coach in waiting. He's a former Creighton guy. But Durham's only 6-1. And they didn't, people wondered, well, are they trying to get rid of him or, him if he isn't going to get there, because he has a really good resume. And a St. Louis one, but everybody's after him. That's St. Louis University, their coach is one that's in demand every place. That we probably can't get a bidding war for him.
It's so much fun good at basketball.
Yeah.
So much. You can get basketball and football at the same time, plus have the girls rolling.
Yeah.
Keep this team together. That gets to be fun.
That's what
Volleyball's looking better, even soccer's looking better.
I don't know
I'm
when
gonna
I've.
start going to track.
No, our track's really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna start going to track.
Yeah, no, they're like,
They-
one of the top
Where do
in the
they,
But
nation.
they-
where do they do that?
It's out there and around the just south of the football, south of Ramwood.
Still,
Kind of sandwiched in between that and the baseball.
Yeah. But
Although
you
we
see,
did
over the
Only
weekend,
finished second in the Big 12 over the weekend.
the men were second by 1 point against Texas Tech, and the women were fourth.
Yeah, we have a good solid program.
And somebody's always questioning, somebody message board I was looking at, that the final event, which I don't know what it was, that Texas Tech representative could have been called for disqualification because they stepped inside the line or everything, but it was at Texas Tech and they weren't, and they got a point, and and I didn't see it, but somebody's always complaining about,
Field advantage.
well, KU was screaming about the home field advantage because Arizona's shot 28 free throws and they shot 9 at Arizona. I thought, KU complaining about hometown officials. Holy cow.
Calling Kevin Flack.
Yeah.
mhm.
And that the latest rankings, though, Arizona's 1 or 2, and Iowa State's 4.
Houston's 6th.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And there's like,
Holy moly.
and Tech is up there pretty high too.
Yeah, like,
And KU's up. It's like looking at of the top 15 teams, there's only 3 that aren't Big Ten or Big 12. Duke, Gonzaga, and UConn. Other than that, it's all Big Ten, half Big Ten and half Big 12.
Good, good.
Just amazed though, like the whole through football season, how you just get SEC pounded down your throat, but when it came to the Final Four, no one really made a big deal that there were
They
no
want that,
SEC.
and there
people
haven't
around.
been for a couple of years. Yeah. Yeah, that Crooks for Iowa State, because on the women's, they don't list weight, you know, they list height, they can't list their weights. I mean, she's obviously large, but she can get up and down the floor, you know, because we've got that girl we've got White isn't as big as her, but she can't get up and down the floor.
It's usually what happens, bigger ones.
Yeah. But I think Crooks also has long arms because they can lob them in. She can, you know,
Good wingspan.
yeah, they can throw them up over the top.
6'4" and wingspan of 6'8" or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Are.
No, that's why I am. That's why I have trouble finding. Because I'm like 3 or 4 inches.
That's why my son is really only inch too. Didn't get quite the weather they thought we were gonna get.
I had ice on my car this morning.
Yeah, our car had ice
The
too.
the ground didn't, and the street was, I mean,
Windshield was just covered with solid ice.
but the top of the car and the thing was,
did anybody feel the earthquake yesterday?
no, I've read that. Said it was over by Salina.
And I was up in southern Nebraska, it was 4.1, and then there was an aftershock. I didn't,
People felt it here?
yeah.
One that next door happened, so they thought they could.
When was it?
That was a little afternoon yesterday, early afternoon. Some people.
You
that
always
don't
hear
know.
about that, and see, it was the only time I just feel it, but I was at a conference at KAC in Wichita. Like 5 or 6 years ago. And you could tell people felt something. I looked in the back and the water tanks that they're putting back, the water was rippling.
Oh, really?
That was the only way I even knew what was going on.
That's funny. I actually felt that same one. I was down in Heaton visiting my sister and we lived there. That was kind of weird.
Well, we had that one here, it's been 5 or 6 years ago. There was a real mild one Saturday night.
That.
And remember thinking, just felt kind of weird for a minute.
I
And
remember
then I
that.
read late, and then I heard later that was, oh, that's why I didn't know if I'd gotten dizzy or something. I was just, yeah.
Where did you, where did you?
Somewhere in South Central Nebraska.
Oh,
But if you think about the topography, it does work. It rolls downhill.
Well, and we got that fault line that goes through here,
you know, through the-
just if it's on the same line.
See, I've heard with it's been so I know if somebody felt it over there or something, seen something.
But they've always been concerned about our dam about, because it's right along the fault line,
Mm-hmm.
the Tunnel Creek Dam, if there's ever serious.
That's why we got that earthquake. Siren.
John Swin.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna sink and let it go. Yeah, they said that that dam was to break it, flood the peak out in 45 minutes.
That's part of the reason they did that. We
Yeah.
had a huge dam stabilization project. for
Yeah.
years.
Yep.
That was the reason they did
Yeah,
that. I mean,
tied
they
it
spent
down.
Millions, upon millions, putting pilings in, stabilize it.
Remember in geology class, they took us out on a field trip and showed us where the fault, you can stand and really see through it.
Really?
And in the spillway, where it's cut, the spillway's cut through, you can see
Oh,
it
really?
in there. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I like that stuff. That stuff's interesting to me.
That's my geology. The lab was really interesting, so the lecture. It's awful.
Just one of those Mondays.
It makes a huge difference as the professor in a
Yeah,
class.
this guy didn't, I mean, obviously he knew his stuff, but he needed to retire. Cause it was drier
Yeah,
than.
monotone professors and yeah. You definitely remember the really good ones when you get to college.
Yeah.
They make a difference at it. One of the Weiss's husband had a name,
Ed,
huh?
Ed Olson.
No.
Oh, the
not
one,
Weiss.
Jerry?
Jerry.
Jerry.
Jerry
Jerry
Weiss,
Weiss,
he
oh.
was my, in organismic biology, had plant side and animal side, he did the animal side. Both of those professors were extremely good, and I always told him after I got out of college, he was the best professor, he just made it fun, interesting, and it was a really hard upper level biology class. It was a lot of fun.
I think the best teacher I ever had was my chemistry teacher in high school. I worked like crazy and got a C. And I came up here and got B's in college chemistry because he
Very well.
yeah, he did very well. But he had worked at what do they call it? Where they work on the atomic bomb and
Oh,
whatever that project, I can't think what it's called, but he was involved in that at one time.
Actually, one of my classmates works in that department. You know, that movie that came out a few years ago about the atomic bombs and that. Anyway, one of his coworkers worked on that movie project.
Oh.
And it is realistic. And George was the smartest kid in the class, and he came to K-State here, and he actually, yeah, he's done very well. He actually is, as they say, your rocket science. This
Working great.
yeah.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jacob Hanson, Riley County Counselor, here to give you a staff update and then work through a couple work session items that I have for you. We'll just start with the staff update, and I'll just kind of walk through some of these individually so you guys get an idea where we're at on a couple things. First thing we have here is First Christian Church RFP and issuance. That is coming towards an end as far as the deadline for submission, which is March 16th. And then we plan on opening proposals if we receive any, March 23rd. And then April 2nd will be consideration by the board for that. I'm not aware that we have received any at this time. It seemed that there was at least one interested party. We'll see where it goes. That's where we're at with the First Christian Church RFP. Did you guys have any questions on that? Okay. Moving on, we have our nuisance abatement cases, and it's actually more than 3, but I will give you a brief update on most of them. One, we have a trial set for April. One, we're in the process of revoking their diversion agreement. And then we have 2 that are coming up on deadlines for the diversion agreements. And from my understanding, 1 may be asked to be extended because they are actually getting work done. So we'll probably come to you guys for consideration on that. And another, we will probably move forward with revoking if it's not done by the end of March. So we're looking forward to getting that done. Once we go through the revocation process of the diversion agreement, we'll obtain the conviction. And then as soon as we have that conviction, we get to finally go through the process that we have that legislation built in for. Which will, of course, require us to come before you guys. There'll be some public notice that's involved before we can get on the property, remediate it, and then assess the property with the cost of that remediation. So things are moving forward and we're using it well. Also, just on that legislation, if you recall, next year is going to be the year that legislation expires. So I will, of course, be working with our lobbyists and everything to make sure that I can get in front of our legislature and remind them that this has produced some positive results so far. Any questions on any of the nuisance abatement? All right, the next we have a Keith Sewer project. Thankfully, my involvement is starting to drop off as far as this project is concerned, which I'm sure everybody's very happy about. Legal can be sometimes seen as an obstacle by some folks. However, I have another letter that I'm going to be sending out to a couple remainder of individuals who have not signed temporary construction easements. Just letting them know kind of the perils that they're going to be in by not signing these temporary construction easements, not getting their sewer infrastructure installed while it's happening to everybody else. I'll be honest, I think there's only one individual I'm aware of that is against. The others are just kind of AWOL, can't get a hold of. So it is what it is. And we'll try to get a hold of them the best we can, but to a certain extent, you can only do so much. As far as the rest of these are pretty general issues that I coordinate with department heads on a daily basis on just answering questions and helping people get things done. So no additional updates as far as individual projects unless you have any questions. Next thing, I'll talk briefly about some of the legislation that I've seen come through. I'm sure you all are aware that at least the 2 property tax bills, the Senate Concurrent Resolution 1616 and then House Bill 2745, those are the 2 property tax legislation that's working its way through the legislature. Both have passed the first chamber, so now they're in their respective chambers. I believe there's going to be floor debate on it. Obviously, we'll see where it goes. Senate bill or the House Bill 2745 was amended pretty considerably before moving on to the Senate, which will probably spark I imagine, some healthy debate, hopefully. And we'll see where it goes. Not entirely sure what these bodies are going to think of their respective bills, but we'll find out. I also wanted to bring up that we've got Senate Bill 254, which is the bill requiring essentially illegal individuals to not receive any sort of public local health benefits. It also really, the onus is going to be on our health department requiring and having to go through with additional verification steps using a federal program. I think it's by the Department of Homeland Security to verify the status of the individuals that come through. So more to come on that. It does seem to be moving forward.
How are they going to be able to do that when DHS isn't being funded right now?
Great question. I guess one we might have to deal with at a later date.
Okay.
I mean, if I imagine if the system's down, there's not much we can do as far as verifying. I'm sure there might be some other means we can try to verify. I'll have to just kind of approach it reasonably. As is a lovely word. We like to use
You
it.
gotta pass it before you know what's in it.
So, we're monitoring that. We'll see where it goes. It seems to be moving forward, and that's what I'm going to focus on. The rest of these are all just legislation that actually seems like it's going to be going somewhere. And I do plan on still having our lobbyists come in for a mid-session update just through Zoom. Trying to schedule that with them right now to see when they're available, when they can get that done. But I'm hoping within the next week or two, we can get them in here. Next bill that I have here is Senate Bill 319. This one is regarding a property tax rebate. If there's a sale that's less than 97% of the appraised value. I'm sure Anna, if she was here, she would have some great feedback as far as the consequences of this bill itself. But we're just monitoring it. Seems like it's getting some movement as well. So,
but having a sale for less than what it's appraised at is fairly rare, at least around here. If you look at houses, and I sent a note to our senator saying, okay, make it fair. If it's more than if they sell for more than 103%, then they have to go back and pay those taxes that they avoided.
that's a fantastic idea. I'd love to talk about that.
It won't go anywhere, but
I mean, especially considering, I've been looking at homes myself and I see appraised values of like, let's just say $300,000 home, and now they're selling it for 500. That's like, yeah. I think if we adopted your approach, it would certainly be a little more equitable, reasonable even.
I mean, if you're looking at median house prices here over the last few years, they've been going up 8 to 10% every year.
Yeah.
That's just on the median side.
Yeah. So anyhow, that one seems to be moving forward as well. And then the last one I wanted to end on a happy note for as far as legislation goes is that it looks like Senate Bill 404, that's the one regarding treasurer fees. That seems to be moving forward. It's on for debate on the March 2nd in the Senate chamber. So
Today.
Yeah, that would be today. That is today, isn't it? So hopefully we'll have good news on that one. Any questions on any particular pieces of legislation that you would like me to look at, review? Okay. Staying with the legislative theme, I wanted to ask, as far as county day tomorrow, is there any certain objectives you guys want to kind of come in and perhaps maybe advocate a little more heavily on for tomorrow? Or is everything kind of on the table? I know property tax legislation, that's got to be the one I think.
I mean, that's the thing, try to educate the legislators, but that doesn't seem to be.
Well, this will be my first day of county day, so I'm not exactly sure, what to expect as far as conversations go here, but I'll try.
I'll be there too. So
Yeah.
Are all of you going?
I'm not.
Well, we'll be there and we'll try to twist some arms a little bit.
That one where they had the panel at the end of it.
No, that's local government day.
Local government day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We did
this
that
one,
correlation with the league.
this one, there's supposed to be, my understanding is there will be.
There are
entities that
association
do-
tables.
Yeah, tables,
Oh.
that you can.
KDC hosted
Then
separate.
this-
Yeah,
then I can't remember which one.
this is actually at the Capitol.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Gives you an
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
opportunity
where
to talk
you-
to the
yeah,
lobbyists,
yeah.
the people on the ground and whatever legislators you can coordinate with. I think it's from 9 to 2 or something.
Yeah, that's
now,
what it
so
seemed about.
Usually can catch them before or after morning session.
And then my last thing that I wanted to talk about, I spoke with each of you individually about potentially a special session for this Friday. It seems like there wasn't quite an agreement on doing a special session, so I wanted to bring that up and have you guys talk about that.
Yeah, I know I won't be able to do this Friday and I'm not for sure about Fridays this month just yet. I'm just curious if we can't maybe attach a work session on a couple of the end of our meetings and
Maybe we could, yeah, that, I mean. I don't
just
know.
add half an hour. or
Fridays
something,
don't work for you, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know, we were waiting for your schedule, so.
I
mean,
know
there's other
this
days.
Friday and the 27th. And the 20th are already booked. 13th I might be able to do, but
That's what I can't do, I think.
Yeah, and that's
I've got-
I think you said
I've got
that you'd have to be out
something
by 10.
Yeah, I'd have to leave by 10 because that's,
So and to clarify, I'm not sure if this was stated, this is for the reorganization for everybody to
County,
to have input on.
heads.
Yeah.
or if we could set a half an hour, 40 minutes or something within one of the upcoming meetings to just continue to discuss. And then if we get to a point where we,
Entirely up to you folks. You tell me what you want and I'll work with Rich in getting it there.
I think that might be good to start.
Yeah, I'd like to see, all of us together with the department heads. And, and maybe they can come up with 3 or 4 representatives.
they all want to be there.
Yeah, they all want to be
No,
there, yeah.
As I talk to them.
Mondays and Thursdays typically work best for commissioners because we're already on your calendar, so it generally works better and just have a longer day.
Just, have end of one of our meetings. I guess Monday we've already got.
See, Monday,
Yeah.
that next Thursday, I have an appointment in Topeka at 3, but,
You could also do it over lunch.
It does look like March 5th. Right now, last time's at 10:25.
No,
At what
so
time?
this Thursday.
Yeah, this
At
Thursday.
what time?
The last item on here is 10:25. That might not be final, so
It still is.
Okay.
So it's current anyway.
so we could try tacking it on to the end of this Thursday.
Whenever the board is ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can move it past.
Yeah. Yep,
End
sounds
of
good to
that,
me.
and then, how long are we gonna, do we want to set a time frame? So everybody want to go through lunch, or you want
I need to go through lunch, but
Shoot,
to
30,
5 to noon?
45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll know.
Have it
Just-
Yeah.
it's the last item, just go till.
Let's go.
we're-
and,
Till we're worn out.
You'll let
Sounds
me
good.
know that yeah, schedule it, Jacob, but she won't have anything in.
All right.
So throw that up. We have a name for it, just a work session.
Just the work sessions.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, I'll get that out. I'll send an email to all the department heads so that they're aware of it. Any other questions for me? So, all righty. Thank you. Jacob.
Next, Bowler at 9:20. Bad, depending on the quality of the window.
I don't think so.
Open. So other day for the fun shows.
Crazy.
On Saturdays for the Chinese.
Yeah, right. That's good. I mean, that's a great job. Well, that's, yeah, that was, you know, that's his budget. No, it's just, still for. It's going by, well, you're speaking of the numbers, always doing this, well, we should already, well. But we're not there, I thought the other shop in the way, that's. Yeah.
No, it just. It felt so good. Like.
Hold on, plus the next speed.
We have a little dog. It's a good song.
Why?
Hey, oh, sorry.
Realize. It was when. That's how he said.
It's working good. Working on.
Yeah.
Number one priority, usually that's serves. So, it's not like it's gonna be cheap. It's not like it's gonna be cheap.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to this question. What is that these days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here today, I would. They get that sort of happen. Here's facility, so they see, but she then, she wants to see sort of valuation or adjust. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, that's what we're doing, right? So we for you know, things that are difficult for us, you know, it's got automating. Workspace area for those sensitive working. Well, there's correct. It's maybe about today, 20 years. There's also. Yeah. It's looking. I know. But I think that's absolutely. Yeah. Realize.
So I don't know if it's right to see specifically, or that this starts from that senior.
Yes.
That's all. On our tab.
Commissioners, you ready?
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Susan Buller. I'm the Elections Manager for Riley County, and today I'm here to request to fill several of our temporary election assistance positions. These positions are necessary for the Elections Office to meet mandated statutory requirements. We also need these positions to implement our statewide security mandates for the upcoming state elections. We've provided you with the job description that lists all their various responsibilities that they partake in to help us have success, but some of them are spreadsheets, our electronic poll books, voting equipment maintenance and testing, elections training, voter registration, ballot fulfillment and logging, answering telephones, and data entry. There's no fiscal impact as these positions are already included in the 2026 budget. Are there any questions I could answer for you?
So these are like $15 an hour.
They are.
How many do you anticipate? Is that the 19?
Well, we'll start out with a few because the primary election is not as busy as the general, and then we'll add more in the fall as our workload picks up.
Any other question? Have a mo-
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve advertising for elections assistance in the clerk's office.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to approve advertising for election assistance for the clerk's office. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All three, please sign.
Thank you.
Two. Next, Commissioner, you have the press conference, 9:30.
We don't have pre-law board on Friday. do we?
I think so. I think it's the next week. If,
Fall.
I'll have it on here. So that could,
Oh, it's on this calendar here.
Yeah, I thought.
it's on Thursday. It's on Thursday now, right?
Should be the 16th.
It's on the 13th. I didn't write it in my calendar.
I don't have it down anywhere either.
Well, I'll have to have her resend it. I think it's because we meet on the 4th.
Well, was on the 16th, so it'd be this, oh no, it's this Friday.
Is it this Friday?
Yeah, there it is, this Friday at 1.
Okay.
I thought I had it on here. I couldn't find it.
Didn't Nicole send out calendar invites for all those so that
Yeah.
it's on your calendar?
Normally.
Wednesday is.
Usually does. Gary decided to leave.
Did you see Friday or Saturday that he had an editorial of his.
Have another weird cartoon.
That wasn't right, you know, talking about how this is structure for the county now, and this is how it was this thing that everything might go through the administrator. This is a big pre. He didn't know.
That one he did to me was totally dumb.
His, every once in a while he has one, but most. But he's actually, I think the same, you know, where the wolf house, it's the historic museum next to it on. Behind it, there's a stone house. That's.
He lives there, yeah.
He lives there and has for years.
He doesn't pay rent.
Yeah, he takes care of it.
Yeah, he's caretaker, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been that forever, and then, oh, he hangs out at night. He used to hang out, with I don't know if he's like, because I don't hang out at night. So I used to go down on Fridays,
No.
see my friend Steve, he hangs out with him. They all
So
hang out. Yes,
Chasing, you know, it says.
it's getting really old. Well, the whole paper.
I don't, did you see the editorial I was talking about?
No, I'll have
It
to
said,
pick up.
it says, the county has stumbled through without a healthy or logical setup.
I stumbled through
Yeah,
for how many years?
for decades.
He wasn't particularly nice. Now.
Which day was
I-
that,
that's-
Saturday?
No, that was Wednesdays.
Oh, I'll have to go buy that. No, I don't know if I want to buy it. It's too much.
I'm on there. I don't know if I can.
Yeah, I know I got, Janet worked me a PDF copy of it. See if we're quick.
And he said, you think we should be more like the city? They've had a manager for decades. What's their bond rating? So I said, here's something, they had an article last summer. And he wrote it saying that in it said overall Manhattan's in cities. Well, total has been Manhattan itself is the third highest snow levies in first
Yeah.
class cities, and we're the 15th. Said who needs to take lessons from Google?
Yeah, that's true.
Because then he also said because of HR and budget, so that he basically saying Rich has control of all HR budgets.
Yeah.
And over each department hires a guy, he doesn't. He isn't in charge. No, he doesn't write the budget. It's department.
Oh,
He is.
Maybe I should efficient function. You guys have a preference on food.
Go ahead.
Steak and
sorry. What?
Never gonna change.
And the answer's never gonna change.
I know. I'm trying. No, I don't care.
Well, you know, we have money in our budget. We don't use,
Well-
I never use anything out of our budget, so use
We
it for
can-
me.
So we get steak and lobster for the commissioners and sandwiches for the. department.
Yeah. You probably can ask them.
Sandwiches.
That'd be an interesting meeting.
Yeah,
Huh?
Shit's up.
Yeah, I don't even charge mileage unless I go out of
I
town.
think it's typically you. McAllister's or, you know.
The one last week or last month was good. That was
Yeah.
McAllister's.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's from Monday. Anyway, so I guess it's time for a press conference. Okay.
Good morning, Mark French, Raleigh County Police Department. Update on your jail. As of this morning, we're at 117. We only have 3 housed off-site right now, and those are due to no contacts. As we talked last month, we consolidated the female population and made population back into the jail by opening up another pod. So if this number doesn't reduce, we may have to shift again, but we'll just day to day on how we do it. One thing I would like to point out is, about a year and a half ago, our website used to say Raleigh County was a state-of-the-art jail facility. We had all that removed because I made the determination we'd fallen behind. I'm really happy to report that we'll probably be adding that back. We introduced some new technology again in the jail just this last week, and called RFID Guardian. And what it is it's a true accountability system that shows that we're doing exactly what we tell you we're doing. So if you get a chance, I would love for you to stop by, tour the jail, just to see some of the updates. A lot of you haven't been down there, I believe, since we added the body scanner as well, and some new camera systems that we've added as well. So are there any questions? Y'all have a wonderful day.
All right, thanks, Mark.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. It's been a while since I've been here. Keep it pretty brief. The name of our, rather than development, our team likes to visit sister cities in the region. So sometimes we go as far as Oklahoma or Iowa, Colorado, looking for downtowns that are similar in size, maybe a college town, facing the same issues that we're facing, doing a better job than us, not doing a better job than us, just kind of getting out there and seeing what other communities are doing right and what we're doing right, and maybe course corrections that we need to do to stay a vibrant downtown. So that is happening and always does happen in January, February, and March. This year, our focus is really going to be a strong focus on our retailers. We want to make sure that we maintain a balance in downtown that is not heavy on any one particular type of business. We don't want to go heavy on bars and restaurants or service businesses. We want to have a good solid mix. And we do that through fairly aggressive retail recruitment. We ask the city to get involved with ordinances and protections that can be put in place for our small business community. And our campaign that we started last year, Shop Local First, which is just a really strong push to educating consumers on exactly how important and why it is so important to spend your money locally and generate that sales tax, keep those sales tax dollars in the community. So that's going to be a primary focus for us this year. On the event side of things, we're going to kick off the season with our spring open house, which is a retail event, and this will be our 3rd year doing that. That's on Saturday, April 11th, and we have 25 plus retailers that will be have their doors open in an open house style of maybe some fun hands-on activities. It's supposed to be an experience, not just walking in and shopping, but also getting some of our businesses on board where you can maybe, for example, we have a new business called G. Marie Designs, and she does things like potpourri bar where you can go in and make a potpourri to take. We have a yarn shop that often has projects, hands-on projects. So it's a fun day to come out and just kind of see what we have to offer in downtown as far as our retailers. And of course, we would love for you to spend your money and then have a meal at one of our restaurants. And then our longtime event in April is Pink Up the Pace. It's a 5K run for research and a 1 mile honor walk to support and memorialize those who've maybe passed away due to cancer or have come through on the other side, and you just, maybe they can't run a 5K, but they would like to walk the mile. That's on Saturday, April 18th. And as always, that benefits Johnson Cancer Research Center on the K-State campus. And this year we have kind of co-sponsors, Via Christi, and a new program at Meadowlark called the Community Cancer Program, which supports survivors, and it's welcome. The public is welcome. You don't have to just be a resident at Meadowlark. And that's something that we haven't had in our community. Really is a survivorship program, and that's sort of their goal. So we're really happy to have them be a part of our event. That's my update. Any questions?
Thank
Thank you for your time.
Good morning. Lori Harrison, Riley County Emergency Management Coordinator. This week is Severe Weather Awareness Week in Kansas. This is the time to start thinking about having your plan, making your kit, and how you're going to stay informed when the weather changes. So having the plan is very important, whether you're at school, at work, in the car. Know what you're going to do, where you're going to take shelter. Put your kit together, what it's going to take to survive if you had to evacuate for 3 days, what your household looks like, is going to determine what your kit looks like. Whether you have kids, if you have pets, everything is going to change when your household changes. We suggest reviewing that every 6 months. Take a look at your kit, see if you need to swap something out, update some food, put some different things in. And staying informed, of course, we are encouraging folks to sign up for the free Everbridge emergency notification system that we offer. It is a Northeast regional program. So if you're interested in other counties within the region, that is also an option, not just for Riley County. So having ways of being informed, multiple ways, because if one goes down, we need to make sure that you're getting the information that is necessary. There is also NOAA All Hazards Weather Radio, which you can receive information on 24/7. Doesn't have to be an event. It can be a beautiful sunny day and you can still be receiving weather information. The statewide tornado drill will take place on Wednesday, March 4 at 10 p.m. at 10 a.m. We will be activating the outdoor sirens at that time and the Everbridge system. We will not be doing that today. So today is the first Monday of the month. This is our usual test day. We will not be doing that today, but we will do that on Wednesday as part of the statewide drill. We also encourage everyone at that time to practice their plan, whether they're at work or at school, what you're going to do to take shelter and speak with coworkers. Maybe they haven't been there long enough to have gone through this annually, to share that information. We'll also be inviting in the National Weather Service from Topeka to do their annual presentation on severe weather safety. Several of you have been to that. It's very informative. It's open, it's free to the public, and that will be March 24 at 7 p.m. at Podorf Hall, again at Seco Park. So take advantage of this week to plan. We know it's going to come, so plan now. Don't plan when we're in the middle of an event. Make a plan now, have your kit, find your ways of staying informed. Attend the Weather Service presentation. There are several around the area, so if you are not able to make the Riley County one, there is a schedule also on their website. I know Wamego is having one shortly, Junction City, so there's several around in the area. So having ways of being informed. And then we will participate in the statewide drill Wednesday. Any questions?
Thank you very much.
Great, commissioners. It's 10:00, 9:03.
Right, I don't know where it was.
We need.
Oh, it was just not up to like, it was like next month, next week's or next meeting's agenda.
And hit that agenda.
This one.
Yep.
There's a packet.
There you
Yeah,
go.
you have to hit the agenda packet.
That's what I had learned. I was sitting around thinking like, where's the packet? First I did that.
Just.
Jim.
Slow day. It's long.
It's a lot of weights and, which makes me.
Yeah.
We're here. I mean, this.
You go up from there, not down. The next item is up from that one, up there.
This one.
Will be a Diane Creek's one. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
You're a computer expert now, Russell.
Well.
Yes.
That's okay. To be named. Reserve. Perpetuating and efficiency.
You know. It doesn't ever. What it just says, if we do everything, but over here. All of this set policy.
The administrator wouldn't set
We
policy.
don't, yeah, we said policy. No, we're doing this magic administrative and administrator decisions. Which is not how it's set up, but you know.
We can set it up any way we want.
Yeah.
But that's,
Oh, I know.
so maybe they ought to do one for the city while they're not.
Yeah.
Everything on one side. Yeah. I don't know.
Of course, I need to not look at Facebook, but somebody was saying that Facebook's, if they're doing this in the county commissioners need to cut out all their huge salaries because it's the administrators doing all their positions.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We need to cut down the. Rich Johnny, he had been planning to quit on much. But in time.
Somebody's doing now, but he'd know about that. He's,
Yeah, I didn't know if he was just telling me that to make me mad.
no, it's. No, now his plan is, did he tell you what his plan is now, to the end of this year?
Why? He thinks he's gonna. Be ready. Have the same department and all this stuff. I don't know. We'll see what they have to say this.
Yeah.
The planet difference.
That meeting Thursday afternoon, the department heads went real well. They misunderstood how things were set up.
Yeah.
You know, they were, said, no, that's not the way it's gonna be, this, and this, and they all seemed to be okay. And they were saying they understand the need for it, but they, you know, they don't want to report to the administrator, they want to report to us, you know. Yeah.
I mean, they feel intimidated by. Yeah, a lot of them. Well, we still want to keep that.
Yeah.
going.
It's
Well, and we kept them quiet, just.
there's a chance for severe weather on Friday.
It's good things.
So that we shouldn't have. We shouldn't have been working before it used to. I mean, it would have been public. You know,
Well,
they heard what we.
That's what I usually do too.
Cooper didn't exactly. I'd either, you know.
well, we
And
had
then. Printed it
Yeah.
out before we'd.
I don't have one.
Printed out.
Well, yeah.
No, I broke the last one I had. It,
didn't either.
one of the deals popped on, I actually replaced
Not
it.
good.
Um,
Well, we'll get it.
I think you can park it down below, but
Screwed up.
with it being in session, it's usually full.
Helps getting
Yeah.
this, they said, something in the city.
Have you been?
Job.
I have not. It looks like it.
Mhm.
Job description.
Very clean.
What we want to do is going through that
Yeah.
list of statutory things. and I
Yeah.
put it out there.
Yeah.
You know, meet
Well,
with this group today.
Technically, it's new, so it'll be that way for a while, but.
David, 7 people.
That's why.
That's a bunch of them.
Corey, I don't know.
Mm.
Corey.
They're probably still trying to get it organized.
Anna, Michael, Charlie, Megan, and Corey. That's what we
Megan
had.
wasn't there. She has that move on. I think she's in the administration. That's the same day.
Mhm.
You know, they were all ones, but they, they're not necessarily ones, I mean, they don't need to. Cause then it's just gossip on.
Right. And they thought all of a sudden we just decided, I said, we've been working on this for weeks. We didn't just decide. We didn't work on use that. People that upset with them. You know, just an executive session.
Yeah.
Is one of those.
Yeah, that's it.
We thought.
So we're ready for it.
Yeah.
You know, we.
Yeah, I can see that.
Done agreement between the three of us.
Yeah.
You know,
There's this.
Yeah, David was pretty slow in getting this stuff done. Cooper.
But there was some personal. Yeah.
Oh, it is too.
I mean, especially when you're cutting the top part of the office.
First one.
Just keeping the bottom.
Yeah. They were talking about that Similar to September, October, it's always health.
He had that
You know.
problem.
So, yeah.
But I forgot what I said. So,
No,
that's how I work at it.
Yeah.
Our salaries are not that big. There's other salaries that too. We gotta, that's, we've gotta figure out what that salary should be. Cause, or anybody that's been here 20, 30 years, they have all these increases.
Right.
I don't know how you deal with that. But if that has to be statutory or what,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's long breaks. Diane's here, you could probably.
We just have another boy till that other person
Well, the other ones, yeah, there's a.
to that intent. That was. I don't get that.
I don't know what that Goldsmith is. The upright.
They just, she's got a whole big deal that was in her packet.
Yeah, it might be a little bit after.
Doesn't make sense, but.
Yeah.
See.
See?
No.
Saw Amanda's.
Usually doesn't.
All
Doesn't
mental
start
health and keep mental and ill people out of the.
Oh, that's that stepping, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know.
There's a microphone. We don't say, I mean, words.
They do a lot of class.
No. That microphone is a good one, huh?
I didn't know it was that sensitive.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that here, I mean, it was a child.
Because people tell me they can never hear me, so.
I hear that, and they can't hear us here, but. I mean, apparently.
Who's listening then?
Employees.
Oh, employees.
Yeah, the department heads and a lot of people listen to us.
And again. That they.
Yeah, on YouTube, I see.
I say anything we wouldn't say.
Views.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere around
But how many are outside of the county?
Yeah. Good question. Good question, Don. Yeah.
Well, they're streaming.
I mean, I guess if I was a big here, there's some shoulder back, so.
Yeah.
Bounce my room.
Yeah, there's two microphones over there. So. Yeah. Oh, this one. No, it's CJ.
No, it is. I didn't. Seen this, no, I looked at political video thing to look at the numbers of meetings, the numbers on the meetings.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
there's, it's like somewhere around.
1.2K. 1.3.
thousand?
Yeah. You put it 2,000. We used to never get them. It's always 53 or something. Time.
These days, I mean, I was starting from watching, I know there. A lot of them tend to understand. It's a let's see. This is that property that I'm on the highway there. Again. So this is 2024. Before we, I mean, it still doesn't look good, but there's a lot that has been done. It's cleaned up most of this parcel. There are quite a bit less quality as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something.
Oh, weird, man.
It's,
Did you see that?
yeah, something.
And it's these are recent. Yeah, so this year, that's 2024. And this is 2026. But can see the right. I mean, it still doesn't look very good, but. Hey, she's aware. There's a lot of she's aware, I mean, she knows what's going on. So there's not much to share. This is the new one. Yeah. Yeah, they figured out quite a lot. This probably is. We know that. Yeah, these two trailers right here. Oh, yeah, guaranteed. If the wheel won't even move. Yeah.
Or just take a dozer or something and just upload it.
Yeah. Thought reminded me this morning, I didn't.
I don't even look at the one over here.
It's true. I do it once in a while. Don't speak his and that reminds me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, calendar.
Oh, shit. Well, it's already.
Yeah, we said it.
That's Clancy, so it's 3 months.
Or a year behind.
Yeah. I think because he made himself notes, so he wanted to keep, so he always had some notes written out on there and didn't ever switch.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Oh, look at it there. Glasses. Right school isn't that?
But remember early tomorrow morning, if there's not clouds,
Yeah.
right, it's I think earlier.
When is the,
No,
when is it all the planets are supposed, or we already?
That was last night.
Oh,
we were talking about this morning.
Yeah.
Planets lined up.
Yeah, we tried looking.
I know.
So.
We have a telescope, but it's just really, and so like the lens on it, I mean, it was so dirty, you couldn't see anything like that crazy. You can see the moon flying, but that's not it. But I did find it. I was able to get it on, but it was just, you couldn't tell it. It was just like a bright dot.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had all of them up yesterday. It was Jupiter, Uranus, Saturn was also up. You had to be really quick with like as soon as the sun set for it to get Mars. And then Saturn, I think, and Venus and Mercury. So you can like you had to be real quick at the very start, and later in the night you got Jupiter.
Go brighter.
It was really cool. Really cool. Ooh. It was a little cold though, we'll say that.
Great the way it's been the last couple of days, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Need a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we recess as the Board of County Commission and convene as the Board of County Health.
Second,
So moved and seconded that we recess as the Board of County Commissioners and reconvene as the Board of County Health. All in favor? Aye.
Good morning, Commissioners. Diane Creek, Health Department Director. I am here to request, to be able to, let me start over. In October of 2025, the Health Department Clinic has operated since October of 25. The Health Department Clinic has operated without a dedicated supervisor / manager. During this period, leadership responsibilities have been absorbed by me and the MCH supervisor to maintain program oversight while clinic staff have continued to provide uninterrupted services. As the duration without a designated supervisor has extended, the staff have expressed increasing concern regarding limited structured leadership, coordinated planning, and long-term direction. While essential services have continued without interruption, the absence of a consistent manager presence has limited opportunities for proactive planning, workflow improvements, and team alignment. The HR director recently reviewed and approved the position description for the Public Health Clinic and Family Services Manager, which was formerly two separate positions. It was a clinic supervisor and the MCH supervisor. What we want to do is combine those two positions into one. This role reflects a merged leadership position designed to align clinical operations, maternal and child health services, and family service programs under a unified structure. As part of this reorganization, the department intends to transition thoughtfully into the merged structure while evaluating long-term operational needs. So the health department is requesting the approval of the interim Public Health Clinic and Family Services Manager to support the clinic during this transition period. The interim appointment will provide immediate supervisory presence and structured leadership for clinic staff, operational stability during implementation of the newly approved merged leadership structure, dedicated oversight to assist with workflow alignment, staff engagement, and service coordination, and the ability to make informed and thoughtful decisions regarding permanent staffing and integration of clinic and family services functions. Additionally, as part of the transition, the department proposes evaluating the addition of clinic support positions such as a public health outreach nurse and community health worker. These potential additions would be funded through cost savings resulting from not filling the clinic supervisor position. Redirecting these savings towards direct clinic staffing strengthens service delivery while remaining fiscally responsible. Approving the interim manager will allow the department to develop a solid, sustainable, long-term organizational plan rather than making just a quick permanent staffing decision. This approach supports workforce stability, continuity of care, and responsible fiscal management during organizational transition. The interim position includes a compensation adjustment reflective of the expanded duties and remains less than 8% of the previously budgeted position cost. It will be funded with the existing health department funds allocated for the clinic supervisor position, which was included in the 2026 health department budget. And this approach represents significant cost savings while ensuring continued program management and staff support during the transition period. Once a finalized transition plan is established, including the public health clinic and family services manager position, any proposed clinical positions supported by the cost savings will be brought forward for commission consideration with detailed fiscal analysis and final approval. So do you have any questions about any of that? Concerns?
If that's Breva, right? MCH.
Yes,
Breva. If she's doing that, who's covering what she was doing? at
she'll be
MCH?
doing both. She'll be doing both. Yeah, she will be doing both, and she's kind of almost doing it now. Except for not in the scope that we need. So once we merge those two positions, they work with a lot of the same clients. They do a lot of the same kind of work, a little bit different, and their funding is flexible enough that we can braid it together. And it'll get rid of silos, that we kind of naturally have because of our funding here. So it will get rid of a big silo, really. So yeah, she'll do both, and that's part of it. We've had a lot of talks, and the way this came about is the clinic supervisor left, and so we decided that was a good time to reimagine administration. And so we had a lot of meetings with management staff to try to come up with all kinds of ideas. We brainstormed and we came up with this one, and it sounded the most logical to reorganize and to kind of make us a little bit more lean. And so that's why we went this way. And we've talked a lot about her concerns, with doing both programs. Obviously, it'll be absolutely perfect if we can all be in the same building because it'll make it so much easier, but that is yet to be seen whether that's going to happen or not. So, yeah, but the clinic she'll be great over the clinic. And then MCH will continue to keep doing what they're doing now.
Now, will she be over there at the clinic, or back and forth?
She'll
or
be
how's
going
that
back
gonna
and
work?
forth. Yeah, she'll be going back and forth
But-
for now.
And like I say, this is just interim until you get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Hope, I assume basically a trial for a few months to see if it works. Like I
Yeah.
said, she's been doing this anyway.
She has been,
Slowly
she
setting it up.
really, she doesn't want to step on toes, so she's been very cognizant of that. She so she has kind of held herself back from just completely taking charge. And so this will allow her to take charge of it, make the changes that we need to make. Because there's some things that we need to do over there. We need to do some policies, we need to evaluate some processes, things like that, some workflows. And she's excellent at that. So she'll help them do that kind of thing too, make their jobs a little smoother.
Does she make medical kinds of decisions or?
No, the staff will do that. So we've got a nurse practitioner over there who, very well trained, and then 3 RNs. And so they will manage all of the medical stuff, all the medical decisions. And then we also have a medical director that they can consult with if needed.
John, do you have anything?
Don't.
So how long, you said it's interim,
What's the
how
time
long is
frame?
interim, you think?
I'm hoping maybe 3 months. Depending, we'll reevaluate as we're doing this. At the end of 3 months, we'll reevaluate, see if we need an extension or see if we can see where we're at that point and see if we're ready to move forward and make it permanent. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If she's up to it.
Mm-hmm. I
And you
won't
are.
leave her hanging, so I'll be there for support and I'll stay involved, obviously, so.
The emotion.
I don't see a motion. Move to approve the interim public health clinic and family services manager's position.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the interim public health clinic and family services manager position. Okay.
Briefly fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was told. Don't know anything about it other than it's on Zoom.
Make a motion that we recess as the Board of County Health and reconvene as the Board of County Commission.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to recess as Board of County Health and reconvene as Board of County Commissioners. All in favor?
Hi, Audra. This is Corey Meyer here in the commission. Would you go ahead and unmute and speak so we can make sure your sound's working?
Yes, good morning.
Okay,
Can you
good.
hear me okay?
Yes, we can. We still have about 3 minutes. So when you hear Rich present at the next item, then you'll unmute and we can continue.
Wonderful. And will I be sharing the slides or do you guys have access to those there?
We've got what was presented.
Looks
Sure.
like,
Stepping up.
yes, we've got the slides here. I can roll through them as your hands here, or if you'd like to do it that way.
I can share screen and just roll through myself so you don't have to advance for me.
Okay, if you'd like to go ahead and share, and we'll make sure that that's ready before we get to our time, please.
All right. Are you seeing the slides or am I sharing the wrong screen here?
Nope, it looks good. If you work from right there, we'll go ahead and just wait until for about 2 minutes, okay?
Sounds great.
All right, cool.
Okay. Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
Okay, we're ready.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the invitation to come and present to you all today. My name is Audra Goldsmith, and I am a project manager here at the Council of State Governments Justice Center. And I largely oversee the Kansas Stepping Up Technical Assistance Center, which I have for about the last 5 years. My background is in clinical psychology and have done some work at a local county jail here in Kansas for a while, and also at Horizons, a community mental health center in Hutchinson prior to that. So I'm looking forward to talking with you all about this today. And although the request came from Commissioner Ford quite a few months ago, I apologize for the delay, but this really is a county-driven initiative. And so I spent some time doing a little bit of homework, connecting with Amanda Yenser, a director of crisis services at the Pawnee Mental Health Center, as well as Tabitha Newbert with Court Services, and Major Mark French with the Riley County PD, just to really ensure that there is county buy-in to leverage this type of an initiative, and really just make sure that there was support at a county level on really taking up what this initiative is and driving it forward here in Riley County. So although you guys are already technically a stepping up county, I feel like there's probably been a lot of turnover. And so I wanted to just ground you in what the initiative is. And so Stepping Up started really with the founders of these 3 partners you can see on the screen. And it really is a focus of decreasing the over-incarceration and recidivism for folks who experience and live with behavioral health needs in local communities. So it really was this national answer. The initiative was really built in this response of, we know that there is a large population of folks experiencing mental health in our jails and in our prison systems. And there are a lot of contributing factors, right, that really that give more evidence as to why there are large populations. We know that there are higher disproportionate rates of those with mental health that are arrested. There are higher recidivism rates. They stay longer in jail typically, and they really have typically higher criminogenic risk factors when you look at this specific set of population. So what can we do nationally about this? But not just nationally at a county level, right? Because this is really where the work gets done. So Stepping Up was started 10 years ago, actually. This May will be our 11th year. And so we are in, I think it's over 583 counties across the nation. But Kansas is unique because we are only one of 2 who have their own individualized state technical assistance centers. So we were joined by Pennsylvania. And so we have been working in Kansas here, I think I mentioned, for the last 5 years, supporting the Kansas Stepping Up TA Center. So when we talk about stepping up, I really kind of divide it into 2 pillars. Our first pillar is really looking at a collaborative, utilizing the framework, looking at what the framework is telling you to do, how to really guide your county in driving this initiative forward. And the other part is these key metrics or data. We are a data-driven initiative, and we believe that if you collect and have good quality data, as you talk about what types of services and programs you want to implement in your community, you can do that in a very educated manner to where you are making sure that you are supplying the correct workforce, personnel, time, energy, and finances into something that's actually going to be successful in your community. So when we talk about a kind of a general recipe for the success of Stepping Up, first is getting county buy-in. So that was part of a little bit of my homework of meeting with those 3 partners here in Riley County, and also presenting with you guys today. You guys have already passed what we call a Stepping Up resolution back in, I want to say 2018. So it's been a little bit, but really what that is, it's a non-binding, non-legal binding document. It's really just a public facing acknowledgement that we know that we have this issue of a large population of mental health in our community and in our jail. And we want to work together as a collective stakeholders, and talk about issues and talk about solutions to those issues as a joint collective network. And so I just want to reiterate that Stepping Up is not a program. You don't have to buy into it. There are no fiscal ties to just being a Stepping Up county. It really is a framework. Oftentimes, when I speak with folks, it's, yeah, we have this meeting and we meet monthly and we kind of just talk about, what each agency is doing. But we don't really go into extent of how to make things better. And so this framework is really supposed to be that roadmap for counties to say, we acknowledge the problem. These are the steps to try to identify a solution and then to take to try to obtain that actual solution that we identified. So when we talk about the Stepping Up framework, these are our 6 key questions that are really the roots of our framework. So as counties get together, they can start at 1, and there is a little bit of work maybe Riley County can do in this first question, but as you meet over time, you can work through this framework. And it's not something that once you hit question 6 of tracking your progress, you put it on a shelf. You kind of go back to ground 1 and start at question 1 again and say, do we still have buy-in? Do we still have our folks around the table that we need for these conversations? And it's just supposed to be an ongoing process that you have in your community. Okay, so as I mentioned, you guys already have buy-in, right? You have already passed a Stepping Up resolution and are recognized as a Stepping Up county. But one thing that we've been in conversation with Amanda, Tabitha, and Major French was, let's talk about where does this initiative fit, right? It's not about starting something brand new. We know that there's already a mental health task force and a few other coalitions or committees in Riley County that meet. So where or which community council or coalition shares the mission and vision of Stepping Up? Which one is it that really is talking about this intersection of behavioral health and criminal justice? And then communities have the conversation of, let's just fold Stepping Up into that and leverage this framework to really drive our work that we do. Other counties say, we kind of have this, but it's not really solid on talking about criminal justice. So we're going to have a subcommittee from this current committee that meets. So it really is where you guys see it fit the most. And then just utilizing the framework and working through the steps that are provided. Some of the other conversation I've had with those 3 partners is just how you have around the table. Since we are talking about criminal justice and behavioral health, this is a non-exhaustive list, but these are people, when you think about where Stepping Up fits in the current Riley County coalitions and councils, which one holds these types of players around the table? And so that really is a question for you all to start having together of where does Stepping Up fit in our community? Where do we actually have these conversations? So we're talking about re-energizing the Riley County Stepping Up work and efforts, right? So as I mentioned, where does this specific topic or this piece of work lie within some existing councils? One of the other things that we identified as a place to kind of reinvigorate this Stepping Up work in Riley County is within the jail. So Major French and I talked briefly about collecting data from the jail. So with Stepping Up, our theory is if we have these high numbers of the average length of stay and these high numbers of bookings with folks who experience mental illness, there's probably issues going on as far as access to services or, even just capacity within the communities that is causing or is having an impact on this specific population recidivizing. So we talked about establishing data from the jail, really focused and targeted on this mental health population, to start driving conversations of what types of solutions do we need in our community that would serve our unique needs the best. And so I would be remiss if I didn't say what you guys' role as county commissioners is in this Stepping Up initiative. Across Kansas and many Stepping Up counties across the nation, it's not uncommon to have a county commissioner be a part of this Stepping Up council. And the reason for that really is so that they understand the ask, the need, and the desires of what their community is looking to do. During the Stepping Up process, it really is those conversations of, Do we need policy changes in this agency or that agency? Do we need to look at some protocol revisions? But are there programs or services in our community that we want to go after via funding, grant funding, county dollars? There might be something down the road that the Stepping Up Initiative in Riley County wants to work towards and prioritize. And that might have to come from and have decisions made from folks like you. So it's good to be in the know, that understanding that this team of folks in your community have this desire to work together and provide better resources and structure in your community. So you can also help drive that work. Let them know if there is county dollars available or if there's fundings that you guys are aware of that they might not be, but really being somebody to help support this work at that higher level and understanding what it is your community partners and members desire to really help better these systems. So as I briefly mentioned, we were in conversation about screening at the jail. So Stepping Up is a big proponent of having a validated screening tool at booking, something that has been heavily researched and proves to identify these needs for that specific targeted mental health population. And so working on implementing that, working on just logistics of how that process actually works in the jail. And the screen is really a little bit twofold. And I won't go into it too much, but people kind of ask why. Why do we use this screen? And it really is a kind of beginning triage. It kind of sparks a system within the jail. Oops. So when somebody gets booked into the jail, what Stepping Up really recommends, and one that we often see counties use, is this brief jail mental health screen. And it's done at booking for every single person that gets booked in. And that really ignites the system of, okay, there's a person in our facility that needs current mental health assessment, potential treatment. What can we do in the jail to support that? But it also ignites this system of what are we doing when this person gets released and what types of services do we have in the community to connect that person with? So it's about connections to care. And as we collect this data point kind of around this mental health population in the jail, we start to see and can start to answer questions of what do we need more of in the community so that we're not seeing these large numbers here back into jail. And I will go over what we call our Stepping Up 4 key measures. And this is really kind of this third question of our Stepping Up for Youth framework. As these councils or Stepping Up committees get together, we talk about kind of having the same language, right? We want to have shared definitions of when we say a mental health population, or it says SMI, so severe mental illness population within our jail. What does that mean? We know that that definition might mean something different for Pawnee Mental Health versus what it might mean for the police department versus what it might mean for court services, right? So as we're talking about data and understanding data points, we want to have a shared definition as a Stepping Up council. So we're comparing apples to apples and not apples to oranges. We really talk about and part of leveraging myself with the TA Center is helping counties talk about the mechanisms to set up their capacity to be able to collect this data and then track it over time. So these are our 4 key measures for Stepping Up. When people say, what kind of data do we need to support the Stepping Up initiative in our community? These are the 4 that we start with. There are always other supplemental measures that we work with communities on tracking and leveraging and utilizing to tell their story, but these are the 4 that we really encourage as baseline data. So we want to know how many people are coming into jail that identify as having a mental health concern. We want to understand how long they're in the facility. We want to make sure and track their connections to care. And then we want to know how often those people are coming back to jail. So that really tells our story of what types of resources we need and potentially where our gaps are in our communities. So how does it tell you that? So when we look at, you say, okay, Audra, we know we have a really high recidivism booking with our specific, mental health population in our jail. We just see really high numbers of people coming in, and we can't help who comes to jail, right? We can't help who gets arrested. But one thing we can start to do is look at services and policies like your mental health and police collaborations. What is the utilization of your CIT trained officers, and how many CIT trained officers do you have? What type of co-responder model or community responder model are you interested in, or do you already support? And is it being successful, right? Is it actually applying the services that it was meant to, and diverting those folks from coming to jail? So these are conversations along each of those 4 key measures that you can say we have a really high, we want to increase our connections to care. So what does that look like, and what types of policy and system improvements can we make to impact this specific key measure in our community? And what we really, what I strive to help each county do is really come together, be able to talk about this data as a unit, understand that this data is derived from that validated screening tool, and from that screening tool, we're recording that information and we can report out on it within our Stepping Up councils to talk about really what does this look like in our community, because every community is going to be very unique according to what their data is going to look like, right? And also what services and supports they have in their community. But we really strive to get accurate, very accessible data so counties can utilize that to plan better and really try to put good, high impact strategies and efforts into their community as a solution to this particular issue. And I'm going to pause right there just quickly for any questions. And then I did want to touch a little bit on the Kansas Stepping Up TA Center, but I'm happy to take any questions over any of that information I just shared. Okay.
That's a lot to unpack all at once.
It is a lot to unpack. And I think that's the the perk of having somebody like me is that I'm here, right? This is my job, and my job is to work one-on-one with counties such as yourselves to say, okay, Audra, that was a really great presentation, but where do we actually start, right? And so I'm here for all of those future conversations.
Okay. Well, we do have several groups here in town that meet pretty much monthly or every other month, and might be a good thing to start bringing up and just seeing where the dialogue and conversation goes. I think we're all on the same page that we know that there's a mental health challenge within our corrections system, and we need to make some changes to that for sure.
Yeah, and I think, not that the 3 folks that I have been in conversation with have to kind of take the charge and be the Stepping Up coordinator, if you will, but they have already been kind of brainstorming where does Stepping Up fit in, and I know they've been having some conversations with some of their county partners of, hey, we're thinking about really reinvigorating this. Where do you think it would fit? Is there a desire? So I know some of those conversations have been happening through those 3 that I've chatted with previously.
Okay.
All right. Just quickly, I only have a couple slides left, but just so you guys are aware, when we say a technical assistance center, really that's me. I'm here to provide counties with the how-tos, right? And I'm here to provide any sort of resources. So I get emails saying, hey, Audra, we're talking about a mental health court in our Stepping Up. What do you got? And I'll send as many resources as I have. Something I will also really try to help connect is peers. So one county might be very new. We're thinking about trying to do something, while another county has maybe done it for 10 years and it has really good outcomes. So why reinvent the wheel? Let's connect those folks so they can talk about implementation, do's and don'ts, and strategies so they can learn from each other. So that's something I really try to promote through the TA Center is peer connection. I've already chatted about that. So I'm a visual person. People ask me all the time, what does this look like across the state? The blue are all Stepping Up counties, and those green counties are, they really kind of are a little bit of a shining star or an extra sticker on them for Stepping Up. They have that baseline data, and they take that back to their Stepping Up groups, and they have those conversations for strategic planning and priority setting of, this is what our numbers look like. How do we make advancements and really have positive change in our community? So those are what we consider innovator counties that are able to collect that data, analyze it, and then actually utilize it to drive change in their community. And I believe that's all I have for you today. So I'm happy to answer any other questions you guys might have.
Maybe at the moment, but I'm sure as discussions move along, there'll be plenty of questions and need for dialogue separate.
Okay,
Because
wonderful.
we do have a lot of organizations that do this kind of work, and I'm just wondering, you know, why we need another organization to, you know, to.
They
for
do
people
this
to-
exact type of work.
Well, we're the only one of those counties that has a consolidated,
Yeah, we don't
Place
have a county
for.
jail.
Yeah. It's also got to remember we're sending a lot of people to other destinations because, well, this is one reason, because we got people in there that probably need other assistance, need other services and programs, and they're not receiving that at the moment. I don't know what the numbers are specifically. I'm sure if we wanted to track that, we could get a pretty good estimate, but I bet you it's close to 40% at least.
Pawnee has a
Yeah.
program, work with the police department,
yeah, they do.
jail.
And really, Commissioner, this isn't meant to be another program or replace anything that you have. I think if you take a look ever at the framework, it's very much meant to complement and also give support. As I mentioned in the beginning, you know, I meet with various councils frequently, and they're like, we just kind of have stalled. You know, we meet, but we don't know what we're driving towards. We don't know what we're working towards. And so within our framework, that's something that it's an answer, I guess, or a roadmap that we really give these coalitions that meet to say, okay, now we have a driving force. When we meet, we know we have objectives to work towards. And that really is one of those pillars and goals of the Stepping Up framework. So it's not meant to replace or be another. It's meant to just be a resource and support for what's existing.
At some point, we need to pull up that resolution. From
was
2018 or whatever it was.
18?
Before all of our time.
2018.
18, I think.
Yeah,
Before all of our time, so we need
Yeah.
to kind of review what that is.
long time ago, yeah.
I haven't, obviously, none of us have seen it.
No.
And if I have it, I was able to track down some before my time here. I'm sorry, it was actually 2015.
Okay.
Um,
Well, it's been a while.
It's been a while. So yeah, there's no formal ask or process of re-signing. But I mean, you're more than happy to. You never really become a non-stepping up county, I guess, unless you want to be a non-stepping up county anymore. But so there's no need to re-sign the resolution. I'm happy to send it to you. I'm trying to look real quickly to see if I have it. If I can't find it quickly, I will email it to Cindy if I do find it, so you guys can review that. I'm also happy to just email a general template that counties start with. They're often revised to, be unique to them and their needs. So it wouldn't be the exact one, but it could at least give you an idea of what the foundation of a Stepping Up template looks like.
I'm sure.
I've asked my folks to take a look.
Yeah, I'm sure it's in our
Yeah.
file somewhere. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't actually have it, so that was a little bit before my time here.
Fair enough.
If it's been that long, what do you have numbers as far as how effective it's been in this county?
To be very honest, since I have been doing this work over the last 5 years, I have not been in consistent contact with anybody in Riley County. So I am not aware, and just my, couple of conversations I've had with Amanda Major French and Tabitha, we haven't gotten into nitty gritty of what type of data or anything is collected. So I'm not able to speak on any type of current status or success of any sort of coalition in Riley County.
Those are
Anything else?
dialogues we can have, for sure.
Thank you so much for letting me be here today. My email is always open, so feel free to email me any other types of questions. And I will send a few resources to Cindy so she can spread them to you as well.
Perfect. Thank you for your
Thank you
time
so
this morning.
much.
Next week, young man with 10:5.
Are we meeting on Thursday? Okay. Okay, I'll make sure I'm there, at least in Zoom.
All right, how are you, Rich? Yeah, not too bad, never last long.
Very fast.
Yeah.
Not having that.
I'm just flying.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners. Amanda Webb, Planning Director. I'm here to talk about Riley County Rural Economic Development Advisory Board, lovingly termed as REDAB. So just wanted to talk about the membership on this board. As you probably recall, the board was created in late 2021 in December. And on the screen here, you can see what the membership is comprised of. We did make a minor amendment to the resolution in early 2025 to have my position, planning director position, replace the extension director position. Everything else remained the same. That was the only change we made with that updated resolution at that time. So as you can see, we have 9 members that make up the advisory board. 6 of those are citizens, basically, and as the resolution states, need to reside in cities of Riley County other than Manhattan or in unincorporated Riley County. Of course, 1 member is myself, 1 member is somebody in the extension office, and then the 3rd member is the Manhattan Area Chamber of Commerce member. So the 6 citizen members are subject to term limits, 3-year terms. Of course, there's no limit to how many times they can be renewed, but they do have 3-year term limits. And they also are subject to residency requirements, just as I kind of read at the beginning there. The other 3 members are not subject to term limits or not subject to residency requirements. So we're going to talk just specific to those 6 of 9, the citizen members on this board. So right now I have 2 vacancies. I've had 1 vacancy for several months now. And then at the end of 2025, we lost another member. So right now we have 2 vacancies of those 6 on REDAB. So we only have 4 citizens right now. So I think I've talked about this with you folks before, and each of you had thought about, and I know Commissioner Ford gave me Mr. Jeff Wick's name with WTC. So he did, we were in contact. He met with Kurt Crabtree, who is our chair of REDAB. We met with Jeff a few weeks ago, just to chat with him, just to, kind of, see what if he was interested in being part of the board, what we do, all of that sort of stuff. We had a really good conversation with him. He was interested in being part of the board. I encouraged him to submit his advisory board application. And once he did so, we discovered that he does not reside. He doesn't meet residency requirements, basically. So after kind of talking to some of the members, some of the other members on REDAB, as well as Commissioner Ford, we thought maybe it would be good to have a discussion with the full board here to see if we want to expand at least one of those 6 citizen member positions, if you will, to allow for maybe a regional residency requirement. As we all know, economic development is regional. What happens in Riley County can impact what happens in neighboring counties and vice versa. What happens maybe in the city of Manhattan can impact rural and vice versa. So it makes sense to at least have the conversation and make that consideration if we want to have one position that could be, again, regional. And if that's something you folks are comfortable with, obviously we would need to define what that is. Would we want them to be from a neighboring adjacent county? Would we want them to have some sort of economic development tie here? For example, Mr. Wick is part of the Economic Development Committee through Manhattan. So he is both in a neighboring county and has that connection. So obviously we don't necessarily want to just allow anybody. Of course you can if you want. I do want to say that. But of course, the intention, of course, is rural development in Riley County. So that's one piece of it. And as I mentioned in my car, as I was writing this, I discovered we have another member he's a current member when he was appointed and actually just renewed at the end of December. He resided in Ogden. He now resides in Manhattan.
Around the corner from me.
I'm sorry?
Lives around the corner
Yes.
from me.
Yes, he does. So just want to throw that in for conversation as well, because again, right now, we don't allow a member from Manhattan. And again, he's already a member. So of course, hopefully we could at least keep him until his term expires in 3 years. But I did want to point that out, that I noticed that as I was writing this. So we have two kind of issues to discuss, I guess, basically, if we want to open it up to a regional member and if we want to allow a member from anywhere in Riley County to include City of Manhattan. So that's kind of what's up for discussion today. I do have two separate motions if we get that far, but I just wanted to be clear that there's two things I want to talk about, but they can be looked at separately because maybe you're comfortable with one but not the other. So I just wanted to make sure we have that separate. So, and it really just kind of depends. Obviously, if we have limitations to our residency, then I don't know how long I'll have to, possibly more, vacancies. But then we keep it to be county centric. If we kind of consider a regional, that's bringing different perspectives in there. So it's really, of course, up to you folks how you want to do it.
Sure. That might help. Just an idea that I had on maybe addressing this issue was, we could always create a preference that any applications that are from individuals outside how we have it now have a preference over individuals who would be in the city or outside the county. I think we could draft a resolution in that way that could also still make that a priority, but perhaps not a requirement.
Gotcha.
One of the things that's popping up here, which, it's not necessarily what I believe, it's just a problem that could result, like if you have somebody regionally that has an economic interest in rural or in Riley County and gets on the board, isn't that a kind of a conflict of interest that he or she would be making income off of being on the board?
Well, and I don't know if Jacob wants to speak to that, but really at the end of the day, this is an advisory board. So they're not really making they're just advising you folks. They're just giving input to you folks. So you folks are, of course, the final decision makers. So they're not really deciding anything. Like, it's slightly different from like the Riley County Planning Board, who they're required to, if they have, kind of straight to your point, they have to, announce that conflict, if you will, and then recuse themselves because they're actually making decisions. But this board, they don't make any decisions. They just advise.
They just,
Yeah.
I don't feel like almost
And I like your idea on preference, because I think in the case of Jeff, yes, he's got a multi-million-dollar company and is doing work on a specific infrastructural item of importance to the county, I would say. Obviously, he's actively involved in other committees and other things that would be a good tie-in here. So you could always look at those as extra preferences compared to somebody who just wants to be on the board for board's sake. Well, I think that's a good idea, and I think we should maybe look at that and apply that to a couple of our rural committees. Because I think we're finding it hard to find these specific people that we're trying to lay out, but we still need that assistance. We still need those thoughts, those opinions, that advisory, I guess. So I certainly don't have a problem with that. All in all, it probably wouldn't hurt to have maybe one person from the city of Manhattan. I don't want all 6 members.
Right.
But in the singular, could probably live with one, and then one that could be outside the scope of Riley County, as long as it fits preference. But I don't want to make that a majority.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I envision, allow for one member to be able to be from, outside or city Manhattan, not just a blanket.
Right.
All 6 can be,
yeah. Kind of defeat the purpose.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so what you're saying, we could say we'll allow one member from Manhattan and one member from regional area, but preference is if people
if there's any
to the original description.
I think so. Yeah, I think that we could definitely.
Because I know, like I say, the one that moved had been Ogden for a long time. I'm sure he's, he has those connections.
Yeah, we need to be a little bit flexible in how we look at this. And these are all voluntary type of positions too.
Yeah.
So, have a little bit of flexibility is, I think benefits us in the long term.
Like the preference.
Yeah.
The preference.
Do we need a motion to that, or do we, a consensus to?
You just consensus for.
Consensus to work on it and then bring it back to us for, but I mean, like I say, that's what, I think that's our preference is allow one for regional who has some kind of ties to the county, and then one from the city of Manhattan, but preference would be given to the others.
Yep.
To the original.
And regional wise, would you want to limit it to certain counties that are adjacent to us or any county that's adjacent to us? How would you folks like to do that?
Well, we kind of do most of our planning in the 3-county region
Yeah.
at this point in time, so. Once again, that would be a preference, but I would prefer probably Gary or Pot County if it's outside of Riley.
Does that work for everybody else?
Say, if we say there's preferences, I mean, we can kind of
Yeah,
use,
we got somebody
Our
from
judgment
Waterville
to say-
just in case, it's just on the very outskirts of
Right,
Riley
just
County, but
across
that's
the-
technically be Marshall County, and
yeah.
we could view
Go
that
on forever.
accordingly.
Okay.
So you agree with one position as regional with a preference in Riley County? Is that, I just want to be sure I get the consensus.
And one
One-
within Manhattan, one from the city of Manhattan.
All right, so we'll work on that, and then we will bring that back at a future meeting.
Okay.
Anything else with that?
So,
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you.
Commissioner, take that session 11:05.
how long do you need?
I agree with that.
For all the times. How about helping?
Here's all it is, and we'll.
Yeah.
Show you all the numbers on how we came to that number.
Is there any reason we can't go ahead and start at 11?
Okay.
Okay, we're going to proceed, Jacob.
Yeah, we
Before we get.
2 minutes By the time we get the motion made,
Have
it'll be 2
anybody,
minutes.
the other comment, or is it?
No, they're not.
It's just, they're not.
No, I mean, they're not in the motion, but they could still be.
Oh, okay, well, actually, Brittany's in Clay County right now, so.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think they're planning on.
Oh, okay, got it.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's.
But I'd be fine if they did as well, if they were here, so.
Okay, so we'll go to 11:30. Okay. I'll move the county commissioners, including Chairwoman Foki, Vice Chair Ford, Commissioner McKinley, with Jacob Hansen, County Counselor, and Rich Fargo County recess into executive session pursuant to the non-elected personnel matters exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act in order to discuss the working conditions of certain employees and to protect the privacy of the employees. The open meeting to resume in the county commission chamber at 11:30 a.m.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded for the county commission to recess into executive session for the reasons previously stated under the non-elected personnel exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Commission, we are live again.
Okay, I'll go ahead and move that the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that the board come out of executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I also move that record reflect no binding action was taken during the executive session.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the record reflect that no binding action was taken during the executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, do we have anything else to discuss?
I don't.
Good.
Okay, well, with that, then I'll go and make a motion that we adjourn the March 2nd meeting of the Riley County Commission.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn the March 2nd meeting of the Riley County Commissioners. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.